What's good, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. This is the Road to 2K. Man, this one I just wanted to I just wanted to talk about Lloyd Pierce real quick. Obviously, you guys have probably seen the news by now. Lloyd Pierce has been outed as the Atlanta Hawks coach. He's been fired, for lack of a better term. Man, Lloyd, man, just want to say a few words, offer my thoughts before, we moved on with kind of hot board material on who are the best candidates and everything like that with the coaching search. I just want to, just shout him out, man. I remember when he first got hired in Atlanta, it was something that a lot of the high-profile players around the league were hyped about, and I was like, oh, okay, that must be a good sign, very respected and liked in the basketball world. So just hearing what he's saying in this introduction press conference of what he wants to do for the community and the city of Atlanta, and what he kind of wants to offer for young black kids and the youth in general in Atlanta. And it's just funny, like, I asked him about that.
And I know one of the things that you said you wanted to do really when you came here was really get implemented with the black community here in Atlanta and with the youth here. How important is mentorship to you?
It wasn't just the black community, it was the community, it's the city of Atlanta, the community in Atlanta. Mentorship is something that I want to try and get involved in, and just, and I don't have a direct idea yet. But I know we provide a platform, we provide an area of hope for a lot of people as basketball ambassadors in the city of Atlanta, and I think it's our obligation and responsibility to give back and to present ourselves. So whatever format that is, we're working towards, we're talking about and brainstorming on a couple ideas, but I think it's important just because we are the ambassadors, we are the leaders in the basketball community here in the city of Atlanta.
My first interview with them before the 2018 season. And he's like, no, not just for young black kids. I want to do it for all the kids in Atlanta. And that was kind of like his thing. He was like, everybody, I want to show love to everybody. And over the course of a few months, the city really turned him into, full-on activist. And, he's going further than I think anybody ever thought he would in that realm, in that world and stuff like that. And he was such a great spokesperson and such a great representative for that. It's unfortunate the way that it played out on the basketball court, but I want to focus on off the court because that's truly where his impact is going to be. That's where his legacy is going to be. That's why he's not going to be forgotten as an Atlanta Hawks coach. He's not just a Lou Kruger. He's not just a Terry Stotts. And, shout out to those guys. Terry Stotts has carved himself out a lane over there in Portland for some time now and stuff like that. But he's not just another one of those guys who kind of just passes through and, is forgotten about. He's someone who is, going to be remembered in Atlanta history and Atlanta Hawks history just for some of the things he did. He led the team in a march. He led a NAACP march and demanded and, publicly requested that they turned the stadium into a voting precinct, into a voting location. It became the largest voting precinct in the state of Georgia. And, the Hawks were kind of on the lead of that thanks to Lloyd Pierce, publicizing that request from the Hawks CEO and president, Steve Koonin. So, I'm saying, I don't know, man, it's a lot of stuff that goes beyond sports. There's a lot of stuff that goes beyond the X's and O's. Obviously, they weren't paying him, just for the off-the-court stuff and just to be a representative in the city of Atlanta and just to be a historical figure in the city. They're paying him to coach basketball. And, that's a whole different video. But right now, I just wanted to say, thank you for adopting the city as your own. You're an Oakland kid to the death. You represent the Bay, and, you have such pride in the Bay over there in the Bay Area, over there in Oakland and stuff like that. Salute to you for adopting and embracing Atlanta and truly living in the community. So many times people get jobs, and this is something I learned real early in my career, and I'm still early in my career, but when I move places, you have to really embrace the community, or the community, they can read when you're just looking at it as a stopping point, what I'm saying, as a stepping stone in your career. You really make your mark by embracing that community and putting yourself in that community, really getting out, touching the people, speaking to the people. That's really where you leave your impact and your legacy. And that's something that Lloyd Pierce, he embodied it. He was a living kind of just example of that stuff, man. And his family, starting his family over here once he got his first head coaching job, and just some of the stuff I remember the most is just asking him after Christmas, like, how was Christmas?
How was the holiday?
Excellent. Excellent. You ever seen a 16-month-old play a piano? I have. It was a highlight. My daughter got 3 pianos, actually. I went to FAO Schwartz in New York and bought her the piano that you step and run on, and then my sister bought her a grand piano with a stool, which she absolutely loved the stool. And then I bought her a little piano as well. I didn't know my sister bought her one, so she was working both at one point, just playing piano. But I did learn less is more with a 16-month-old. If they open one gift and they play with it for the next hour, there's no need to go to the other ones. So we got a lot of gifts to still open.
And hearing him just go off on stories about like Maya Joy, his daughter, his firstborn, of like how she was enjoying it, some of the things he's learning as a father, and him bonding with some of the first-time fathers on the team, like a Kent Bazemore, like a John Collins over this past offseason, and Brandon Goodwin, who are now fathers and stuff like that. Just hearing how he connected with players like that and all that stuff, man, is just super cool, man. It's just super cool, and it's a good human being, or at least from what I've seen, like on the public, you'll never truly know people, what they do behind closed doors and how they are, but from what he showed us over so many hours of just speaking to him over press conferences and Zoom sessions, stuff like that. It's just a good dude, cool dude. Vibed with a lot of people. I'm kind of upset that I never got to vibe with him on a personal level or anything like that. But from my few interactions with him, I am thankful for those interactions, and I'm thankful for my city, for the sake of my city, taking journalists out of it and covering basketball for the sake of my hometown, for you to come into the hometown and care for it as if it was your hometown, and to leave the city in a better place than where you came into it. When you came into it, the city wasn't as good as it was now. Like, Bud didn't do all that stuff. Like, Bud, like, a lot of people loved him for what he did on the court, and he might have done a few community events and stuff like that, but he wasn't in the city like Lloyd was, LP was, So I just want to thank him, man, because I feel like that stuff is important. And, of course, I'm going to make a video on the basketball aspect of the Hawks moving forward and stuff. But first, I just want to say thank you because he deserves it. And, it's a job well done. And I know a lot of times he kind of downplayed the game, right? So he's like, basketball is a game. We come here, we leave, one day they're going to tell me thank you for your service. We're going to move on, but we're going to move forward in the process. I'm going to get fired someday. These are all things he was very open about, when he was on a hot seat, per se, and the pressure was coming from the city and the fans and everything like that. He was like, man, this is basketball, man. This isn't pressure. Pressure is A, B, and C, and he would go on about it. So, just all of that stuff as well, of just keeping that cool, even kill. And that might have, on the basketball aspect, that might have led to his dismay and part of it. But, just, I don't know, man. Just a good dude. And his impact goes. Oh, anyways, where I was going with that, I got off track. He was saying, it's just basketball. The thing that I'm concerned about are the people who are going through this. The people who are going through this. And as a man of the people, wanting to better the community and wanting to better us as a people is a job well done. It's a job well done. And I thank you for that, just from a human aspect. And I feel, his next job is going to be somewhere else. It's going to be somewhere else in the league and, on somebody's coaching staff, or maybe he gets the head coaching opportunity in Minnesota, or, or in Sacramento, like that job can open up soon. Regardless of where he goes, he's gonna be somewhere else because he's so well liked. If LeBron likes you, if Joel Embiid likes you, if Steph Curry likes you, Dwayne Wade like you, like you're gonna get another job. Like those are too many heavy hitters in the league vouching for you not to get a job in the league. So he's gonna get another job in the league, but and it's gonna be somewhere outside of Atlanta. But during your time in Atlanta, I just wanted to thank you for helping my city out and doing your part and inspiring others to get off your butt and do something too. Everybody can do it. No one has an excuse. We might have different schedules and stuff like that, but get off your butt and make a change, make an impact in your communities. And when you go to a place, make it better than when you came in. You know what I'm saying? It's like going to somebody's house. When you leave someone's crib, make sure that it looks neater, cleaner than when you came in there. When you came into someone's crib. So yeah, man, that's all I wanted to say. I just wanted to say thank you, Coach Pierce. That's my first video, and we'll get to the basketball stuff later. But best of luck to you and your newborn, second child, and your wife and your family. It was a pleasure working with you. Even if sometimes you didn't like my questions, I appreciate it, and I appreciate the encouragement. There was one time, just a side note. There's one time where I asked them, I was trying to ask more basketball questions, right? Because I was at a site where basketball was such an emphasis, and I'm still there, but basketball is such an emphasis. So I was trying to learn about basketball and ask more basketball meaningful questions. So I was like, yeah, Torian Prince here at this play, like he didn't give up the effort. Like, what was the thing behind that? He's like, it's very easy to point through one or two, but we're not going to do that. I'm not going to throw one guy under the bus and so and so. I'm like, oh, okay. And they're like, maybe you shouldn't, point out one player. He's not going to throw his guy under the bus over one play. So, I learned a lesson there. And then, the next time I saw him was at a practice, and I asked a question, just a basic question, mad basic. What are your goals coming out of the All-Star break to finish the season? It's real basic. And he goes, good question. And then he answers the question and gives me a great answer. And I don't know, man. It's just like little things like that, like could do like wonders for a young reporter or whatever like that. So I really appreciated that moment, Lloyd, LP, coach. And but yeah, anyways, best of luck to you, man. I'm gonna miss you just as a person. You know what I'm saying? To have you around and to be talking to you, you became like the guy, with Bud. Bud is when I started covering the NBA. I was never really close to Bud. Like, asked him questions, he gave me questions, and all right, guys, nice to see you. That was it. With you, you shook our hands, you looked us in the eye. We talked about things outside of basketball on multiple occasions. Like, I think I talked to you more about non-basketball stuff, which you probably didn't like always, than basketball stuff. I don't know, man. Like, I'm gonna miss you, dog. Because everybody ain't like that. Everybody not built like you. Everybody don't give answers like you. I asked him a question about Steve Nash, like comparing Trae Young to Steve Nash. Steve Nash was Trae Young's favorite player growing up, and it's ironic because now they've had their like thing this season. Nash is like throwing dirt on Trae's name, but a couple years ago, Warriors are coming into town, and I asked Trae about Steph, and he's like, oh, just looking forward to playing another point guard. I'm like, okay, well, Steve Nash is on the coaching staff. That's your favorite player. What about Steve? I got him to open up a little bit more, but, Trae was still a rookie. He wasn't talking that much. He talks a little bit more now. Anyways, so I asked Lloyd, LP, about him, because, LP went to school with Steve Nash, and they're, like, kind of best of friends. So, I asked Lloyd about Nash and Trae, and he's like, man, Nash is on a different level, and he'll hold your hand. Like, I think he even like held my hand, or he held someone's hand. He's like, he'll hold your hand and go to an angle where the ref can't see it, so he could keep his dribble and get that space to put up that layup. And he gave me like a 3-minute answer. I wrote a whole story on that one question, and those are quotes and answers that you just won't get from everybody. Everybody ain't built like that. Everybody is not like that. So I'm gonna miss that. I'm gonna miss that from Lloyd Pierce, bro. I'm gonna miss Lloyd Pierce and his family for sure on a human tip. And yeah, that's all I wanted to say. Thank you for what you did, and I'm gonna miss you, bro. And it was a pleasure working with you. And I always looked up to you, just on a man to man basis. I just looked up to you. I like the way you carry yourself. I like the way you did your business. I like the way you stayed even kill. Didn't let stuff get to you. And you stood your ground. Alpha male type stuff. I just looked up to you, and I'm gonna miss you, bro. That's it. That's it. I just wanted to say thank you. Thank you for being a great human, and may our paths cross again at some point in life. Thanks, man.